to be here with Evonne Marzouk, who I had the opportunity of partnering with about a decade ago and haven't had the chance to collaborate since then. So it's exciting to learn a little with you tonight.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here tonight.
Thank you. So I'm excited about your book, The Prophetess, a novel, which is a Jewish young adult novel in the genre of inspirational fiction, you might say. And so the first question I have for you is, why did you write this?
Well, when I was a 17-year-old girl, I was really looking for Jewish wisdom. I was actually looking for wisdom in all kinds of places, and I wasn't really finding it in the places where I was looking. And what I was looking for was a book, a Jewish book that would teach about Jewish wisdom and that would provide me with a story that could inspire me and that had characters and settings that were familiar to me as a Jewish girl, and that would be written by a Jewish woman. And it wasn't there. Wow. And so for all these years since then, I've been trying to explore Jewish wisdom and to be able to write this book. I
love that. That's amazing. To go back and see that gap and then work to fill it for other young women.
Yes.
I love that. So what are you hoping that those young women might gain, but even more, because all kinds of people can read this.
Yes.
What do you hope your readers will get out of this?
Well, I hope that in the story, the main character, she's a 17-year-old Jewish girl, and her grandfather gave her a prayer book when she was a little girl, and he wrote into the margin, for Rachel, may she grow into all her gifts. And what I really hope that everyone who reads this book gets is like to understand that we all have gifts. Yeah. And we all have the opportunity to grow into them. And no matter how old we are or how much we've already done, there's still gifts for us to grow into. And I hope this book will inspire people to look and see what gifts they haven't grown into yet, so that they can grow into those gifts.
I love that, because there's so many barriers to seeing it. There's social conformity. There's what others tell us are our gifts.
Right.
And it can become harder and harder to actually... There's what society seems to value.
And you can also be scared to grow into your gifts.
Yeah.
I mean, gifts can be frightening. You can feel like, maybe I'll just stay safe where I am.
Right.
But really, then we're not really living the life that we're intended to live, or that we could live. And I hope this can give people a chance to explore that for themselves.
Love that. That's so powerful. So I know you deal with some Jewish mystical concepts in the book. What's the first of the Jewish mystical concepts that are encountered?
Well, when Rachel, the main character, goes and starts meeting with the person who's going to be teaching her, he starts explaining to her about her connection with God, and he says to her, you're already and always connected with God through your soul, and her response is like, if I have one. And he explains to her, it's not just that you have one, you are one. That's what we are. We're souls dressed in bodies. We're not just body. Like sometimes we think of ourselves as body with a soul, but really we're souls wearing bodies. And that's the opportunity. It's like, what does it mean if we think of ourselves as spiritual beings on this planet with an opportunity to grow that's almost limitless, and that we're through our souls connected directly to God, that there's this deep, immediate connection that can inspire us and bring light and blessing into our lives if we can strengthen that connection.
So many people seem to get that when I say that at funerals. They get, okay, body is done, there's still something there, but how do you think someone might start to get that in their lived experience? And it's super important, because it has to do with how we think of body image, which many struggle with. Right. It has to do with who and what we value, not just the beautiful or the superficial, but the deeper. And I wonder, like not what's the whole curriculum, but what's sort of a first step to help someone younger tap into this understanding that that's what they truly are.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's a context shift. I think it's about starting to think of ourselves in a different way and realizing that that this isn't just who we are, that our bodies are not just who we are, that there's much, much more to us in terms of our potential and in terms of our purpose in the world. Yeah. When we start, if we only think of ourselves as bodies, we're missing so much.
Right. For me, when I feel stress or anxiety, that's the realization I try to come back to, because I realize that when I zoom out to that place, that those other things, which may or may not be petty, can fall away. And so it can also be sort of the goal is not stress management, but a way to kind of live in the bigger picture.
Right. I think there's a great access to peace in thinking about that, and also an access to, I think, some people are more sensitive, or it's easier for some people than for others to actually start just kind of experience, like getting present to the soul. But if you can actually just kind of become aware that there's so much more to us and own that, then it can just change the whole way that you look at your life.
Amazing. So inspiring. Friends, check out The Prophetess, a novel by Evonne Marzouk. Very cool. And in addition to checking this out, you can check out our Valley Beit Midrash podcast from the full talk that Evonne will be giving tonight, which we will post in a day or two as well. Thanks so much.
Thank you.